What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel. And in today's video, we are rolling right along with our 7-round team mock drafts, and we've landed on the Houston Texans here. And I'm really excited about this one because this is a team that going into this draft cycle last season, we didn't really know what to expect. We kind of figured that they were going to get a franchise quarterback. D'Amico Ryans was a heck of a leader and a heck of a young coaching candidate. We did not expect, or at least maybe people outside of Houston, like myself, didn't expect this team to do as well as they did going into the playoffs, winning a playoff game against the Cleveland Browns as well. I mean, what a fantastic turnaround. CJ Stroud does look like that dude. Will Anderson Jr., amazing rookie season as well. Offensive and defensive rookies of the year. They also added guys like Tank Dell as well. So just awesome across the board. This team does still have some holes in it in some pretty important positions. Right away, you're looking at the defensive line. You're looking at edge as well, linebacker, safety. They need another corner. I believe they only have 4 corners under contract as of right now. So this is a little bit before free agency. So obviously this will change as time goes on because I do believe that Houston will be very active in free agency. You think of a running back as well, another wide receiver, a team that really is it going in the right direction, but could use a couple high impact players. So we're going to get into the 7-round mock and see what we can do. All right, so we're sitting here at number 23, and I mean, there are just some juicy prospects on the board for us here at positions of need. Right away, before even looking into the actual different positions, you look at Chop Robinson, Cooper DeJean, Byron Murphy, Brian Thomas Jr., even Cam Kinchin, someone who his stock has definitely dropped after the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine after back-to-back poor performances. But still, even someone like Graham Barton, I understand that the Houston Texans fan base seems very torn. Some people want offensive line in the first round. I think this offensive line is set for the most part, at least for this year. When healthy, it does look like a really, really solid unit. I would like to get a swing tackle or some backups a little bit later on in the draft. I'm thinking maybe round 4, round 5, something like that, maybe even later. Just guys that, could fill out the roster. So I'm going to hold off on that. Safety, love what Cooper DeJean could bring to the secondary here. Probably more of a slot corner safety archetype. I don't really know if he could play on the boundary, to be quite honest with you. He looks a little tight to play on the outside, not as fluid in his athleticism. So I don't know. I might pass on that. Chop Robinson's a really, really intriguing option here, especially since it looks to be that the Houston Texans might lose Jonathan Bernard after a career season. He might get paid to go somewhere else. Defensive tackle is really what I'm looking at here. Love Byron Murphy. I think that this is a slam dunk of a pick. This fills probably the biggest need that the Houston Texans have. The strength numbers are what do it for me. He's not going too crazy on the size-wise. I guess you could say he's a little undersized for the defensive tackle position, but he is powerful. He is disruptive. He's a good run stuffer as well. Someone that, honestly, if you put it side to side, you would think that T'Vondre Sweat was someone that actually played less snaps than Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy actually played less snaps last season, but that's another thing I kind of like too. A little bit less tread on the tires for him. He's young, he's impactful, and I think this would be a slam dunk pick for the Houston Texans and D'Amico Ryans. It's pretty evident that the Houston Texans are going to want to build through the defensive line again this draft, so Murphy is going to be my first pick here at 23. All right, so what we did here at number 59 is the Buffalo Bills wanted to move up one spot, so we slid down to number 60, and we acquired pick number 159. Love that there because right before I went to number 59, I said, wow, I don't like that gap between 128 and 222. So I'm glad that we picked up 159. Would like to trade down maybe one more time, maybe at 86 to kind of close the gap between 86 and 124, maybe pick up another pick there. So we'll see what happens. But at number 60 here, I'm not going to lie, I really wanted to go wide receiver. I mean, let's look at this realistically. Xavier Leggett, Roman Wilson, these guys, I think Wilson doesn't make too much sense for the Houston Texans. Tank Dell has that slot role. Xavier Leggett would be amazing. Don't think he's going to be here at number 60. So I'm going to try and keep it a little bit as realistic as I possibly can. Jalen McMillan, Devontae Walker, those guys don't really do it for me here at number 60. Then you go over to We'll go over to edge here. Don't really know if defensive tackle and edge are going to be back-to-back picks, but really the only two guys I'd consider at 60, Chris Braswell, Brendan Dorless as well. I'm really looking at corner and I'm looking at linebacker. Two guys that I'm looking at. I'm looking for a Mike linebacker to replace Denzel Perryman here. I'm looking Cedric Gray, Jeremiah Trotter. I'm also looking at Trevin Wallace and Junior Colson. These guys are two guys that I'm pretty confident in. We might be able to get at 86 or 124, even maybe someone like Junior Colson. Jalen Ford's another great guy. Misses a little too many tackles for my liking, but that is something that can be coached. He over pursues every once in a while. That's really the reason why. So I'm looking at corner here. And there's someone that's on the board that really stands out to me, someone that I've been on for quite some time, and someone that only kind of reiterated that interest with his combine performance. That's going to be Max Melton for me. 4.39, 40-inch vertical leap as well. He proved that he really is an explosive athlete, has some fantastic size to play that Steven Nelson boundary role that, I mean, the 31-year-old is probably not going to come back. At that point, it's so funny how, like, once corners hit 30, it's like, oh, they're over the hill. But Steven Nelson actually had a pretty solid, at least statistically, had a solid year in his age 30 to 31 season. But I think we're looking to move on, get a little younger and a little more explosive on the outside. Might be an unpopular pick here at number 60, but I think Max Melton is the move here to replace Steven Nelson on the boundary. All right, so another middling trade that we made here. We moved down from 86 to 89. We also picked up pick number 203 for that. So I just really like to, I don't like to go too far in between picks with gaps. So we were able to really close that gap. We had a gap between 128 and 222. Now we've acquired two more picks to close that gap at 159 and 203. So I'm very, very comfortable with that to fill out this roster. Here at number 89, you see I have the linebackers up on the board right here. Trevin Wallace and Junior Colson are going to be one of the picks here for me at number 89. Just really need to replace that Mike linebacker role here with Denzel Perryman being a free agent at this point. So I really like what Junior Colson can bring to the table. Extreme size, 6'3", 250 pounds, an old school Mike linebacker type of build. He's a tackling machine, super athletic as well for the position. They have former Jet Blake Cashman on one side of the Mike linebacker role, the other side Christian Harris, who had a really nice season as well. Henry To'oTo'o as well, they drafted. So, I'm really looking for someone that's going to fill that Mike linebacker role with Neville Hewitt and Denzel Perryman, free agents. I think Junior Colson steps right in and he'd be a phenomenal replacement. So we're going a little defensive heavy here at first, but I really do think it's necessary. All right, at 124, it seems about that time that we get another weapon for CJ Stroud. Nico Collins had a coming out party. Tank Dell, before injury, was a revelation. It looks like Dalton Schultz also had a pretty decent season as well. It looks like we're going to need another boundary wide receiver. I can't think of anyone better that's on the board right now to be a mid-round boundary receiver, and that's going to be my guy right here, Javon Baker. 6'2", 210 pounds, is someone that creates some real natural separation for not being the fastest mid 4.5s. He creates some really nice separation due to his route running ability. He's actually a fantastic deep ball catcher as well, really tracks the ball well down the field. This is someone that I think, we know that CJ Stroud loves to throw the ball downfield. This is another option for him down the field. Not only that, he's, like I said, a really, really good route runner, someone that, intermediate routes, short routes as well. He's not going to be a guy that's going to catch and run. You kind of leave that for Nico Collins and Tank Dell, but he's someone in that intermediate to deep route running that he's going to be awesome at the next level. So give me Javon Baker at number 124. So at 128, I was going to go back to the defense here, but there's a player that I'm targeting at 159 that I think will be better suited there. At 128 here, I'm looking at some offensive line, and I'm looking at Zach Zinter sitting here. This is someone that has some ample experience on the outside, on the interior as well. And that's someone that at the beginning of the video, I was really looking for as like a backup who has the ability to start in a pinch. And this is someone after a horrific injury this past season at Michigan, where I think he broke his tibia and fibia. So basically a broken leg at that point. He's someone that was in position to go a lot higher than this, but we've seen that time and time again with these players getting some pretty catastrophic injuries. And obviously it hurts their draft stock. But here at 128, I'm fully prepared to take Zinter as someone that's going to be a long-term backup, someone that could develop into a starter. I know maybe 128 is a little high for some people to take someone that's going to be a developmental starter and a high-level backup, but I feel like if I wait until 159, he won't be here. So I am going to take Javon Baker. I said Javon Baker. I was looking at Javon Baker when I said it. I'm going to take Zach Zinter here at 128. Now we're sitting at 159. I'm going to address the edge rushing position here. This is something that I think there are a few of these positions here that I'm not going to address as hard as maybe I should. I think corner, even though we took one in the second round, I think that it gets addressed in free agency, with some lower level free agents, not anyone too crazy. Kind of the same thing with edge. If they don't bring back Jonathan Grenard, I don't really expect them to go balls to the wall on an edge rusher here. I think later on in the draft will be perfect. It is a deep edge rushing class. Kind of the same thing with safety as well. And another weapon, possibly a tight end, a wide receiver. So I'm going to kind of sort of hold off on those to the later rounds. But at 159, I love Muhammad Kamara here out of Colorado State. A little bit undersized, 6'2", 250 pounds, but really, really explosive and super productive. 28 and a half sacks over the last 3 seasons at Colorado State. You might know about him with his tremendous performance against Colorado and Shedeur Sanders as well. That's what really put him on the map. And admittedly, that's what put him on the map to me. I was like, who's this Muhammad Kamara guy? I got to look into him a little bit more. And he is a fantastic player. He had a really solid combine as well, kind of solidified himself as a true day 3 prospect that could even have some day 2 appeal when it's all said and done. But he's here at number 159. I'm not going to pass up on him. So I'm taking Muhammad Kamara at 159. All right, we're sitting here at 203 now, and I'm going to address the tight end position. Would love to get a solid blocking tight end. And Brevin Spanford is here, 6'7", 263 pounds. A really great blocking tight end. Not only that, offers some tremendous size in the red zone, also in the middle of the field. Someone that if he does come in a 12 personnel, that you really can count on as being that safety blanket in the middle of the field and in the red zone. So I love what he could bring to the table as, a tight end 2, maybe tight end 3 at first, but eventually transforming into that guy that could maybe be an every down player. At this value at 203, I really can't pass it up. So I'm going to take Brevin Spanford here at 203. We're sitting here at 222, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to take a combine warrior here at 222. So running back is also a position that I think will be addressed through free agency. A lot of great free agent running backs. I don't know if Saquon Barkley's actually going to come there, but nonetheless, other than that, you have, Josh Jacobs, even Austin Eckler is someone that could get a look from Houston. So I think that'll be taken care of. And I think Devin Singletary kind of sort of deserves to come back after he was only 27 years old, or he will be 27 at the time of the start of the 2024 NFL season. So I think his play down the stretch kind of warrants another contract, maybe not as a starting running back, but I think adding a running back in the draft nonetheless is necessary. Isaac Guriendo here, fantastic. I mean, you want to talk about someone that had a top 10 combine this past week that wasn't even on a lot of people's radars here, but could even go much higher than 222. 6 foot, 221 pounds, 4.33 speed. He ran the fastest 40 of any running back in the entire combine. Someone that just has tremendous explosive numbers. Maybe he's never been a full 3-down running back. He's someone that's been a part of a committee everywhere that he's been in college. So maybe someone that's going to be that change of pace back that, I think of him as like an Anton Smith. You guys remember he was on Atlanta for a while. He was that guy that came in that always had like a 40-yard touchdown, either receiving, rushing, whatever it may be. Didn't get a lot of touches, but he was explosive. That's what I could see Guriendo being, someone that's not ever really going to be a true workhorse, but an explosive change of pace back. And I love the value here at 222. 236, we're going way down the board here with a safety pick. And I love Tyler Owens. I just talked about Isaac Guriendo, what kind of combine he had. This guy, Tyler Owens, was a fantastic athlete, but that's really what he is to me. Texas Tech has 2 really, really good safeties, and Tyler Owens was the worst of the 2. He's just a super, super uber athletic guy that I think that maybe with the right coaching, he can be a 6th, 7th round guy that you take a chance on, that you can mold into something tremendous. He could probably be an excellent return guy as well. Comes with speed, a lot of size, but he's an explosive athlete. And at this point in the draft, I'm looking at people that can make an impact on special teams. I'm looking at guys that can make, impacts as rotational guys. And Tyler Owens is someone that I would put a lot of eggs in his basket to, develop into a great player. And with our last pick here at number 245, we're going to go back to the edge rushing group here. Really like Eric Watts and Miles Cole. I think Miles Cole goes a little bit ahead, but Eric Watts, someone that, really one of the downsides is the competition that you face at UConn, also being an independent. Honestly, I forgot that UConn was an independent at this point, but another explosive player who has some serious athletic upside here, also fills a need as a rotational edge rusher, can play inside as well at defensive tackle. So Watts is going to be the last pick here at 245 for me. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Now, I'm sorry in advance if you guys, don't like this. It's not the sexiest draft. I know a lot of people are looking at like Brian Thomas at number 23. I'm trying to do what's necessary to get Houston to be the perennial playoff contenders that I think that they can be this year and beyond. So I think we filled a lot of necessary holes in this team, especially on the defensive side. But quick recap for you here. Byron Murphy at number 23. At number 60, we moved back one spot. We took Max Milton, moved back 3 spots from 86 to 89. We took Junior Colson. 124, we took Javon Baker. 128, we took Zach Zinter. 159, we took Muhammad Kamara. 203, we took Brevin Spanford. 222, we took Isaac Guriendo. 236, we took Tyler Owens. And 245, we took Eric Watts. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. I hope you guys enjoyed today, and I hope I see you in the next one.